Okay, we're recording.
Okay, it's February 25th, 2003. We're in Harrison, Ohio. I'm Kathy Lang for the Veterans History Program. We're going to speak with Fred Kist. Fred, would you tell us where and when you were born?
I was born August the 21st, 1922 in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I come from a big family, 14. I'm number 4. There's 6 boys and 8 girls. And my dad had a big dairy farm, and we milked cows ever since we was able to get up underneath them and milk them. So I went to school in St. Aloysius in Elmwood for the first 4 years, and we moved out of there. We moved to Peaks Grove in 19 something. I forget what year it was. And we had a farm out there. We raised all kinds of vegetables. And we went back in 1939 and started another dairy farm down on Kirby Road. We had milked over 100 cows then. And I went to finish my school up at St. James up there. 4 years at St. James. I graduated in 1936 out of the 8th grade. And my 2 older brothers didn't go to high school, so I didn't either. So I only went to 8th grade school. And I went to service there. I worked at the foundry for a couple of years before I went into service. I went into service, and we got to talking there at the service when we was in the foundry about going into service. And so let's go down and join the Army. Let's go down and join the Army. And I got my cousin and another boy there. And he said, yeah, let's go down and join the Army. So this girl out of the office comes out and she said, what are you guys all dressed up for? I said, we're going down and join the Army. He said, why don't you join the Marines with you? That's a better outfit, Ian. I looked at them, I said, yeah, let's join the Marines. Let's go down and join the Marines. And the other 2 guys said, I'm not going to, you go first. If you pay us, I'll go. If you don't pay us, I ain't going to go. They're all backed out on me. I went first, I pay us. They all went, they all pay us. So about a week later, we had to go down to town. We left to go to the Marine Corps. We left to go to Parris Island, South Carolina. Boy, we got down on that train down there. Boy, it was in October. And Friday, smelled all that fish. Boy, they had the frying fish down there. Oh man, just time to eat. So we get in there, and they got us out there all standing at attention. Everybody had their bags in their hand, you know. Attention, what does that mean? Stand attention. So we stood attention. Who's chewing chewing gum? Spit it out. We spit it out. Pick it up, put it on your nose now. Man, we had to do that, and the guy was smoking. They had to put them out, cigarettes out, made him pick them up and spit them all together, you know, throw them out on the ground. They wouldn't let them throw butts on the floor. So I lived down there. We stayed down there for doing my boot camp, and we had man, they got me up so early in the morning, and I thought, oh, I was home by Mom now. Oh man, I miss breakfast. You know, you had to stand in line, wait for breakfast, and the time you got in there, it was cold, and it was a mess. I wish I wouldn't have joined now, but I made it. And then from there, we went on to the rifle range. After we got out of boot camp, we went to the rifle range, and I met a guy that lived right across the street from me down. He was doing the shooting, you know, practicing and that. Hey, what were you doing down here, Fritz? I said, I'm going to join the Marine Corps. I joined the Marine Corps. I'm going to take your rifle range here. Okay, I'll be your DI. So he's my DI, and boy, lock and load. I lock and load. And I didn't have it flew up and hit me in the nose. The guy said, come on now, you shot a shotgun all your life. I said, yeah, but this is kick, boy, kicked. Well, I nose was bleeding, and he puts his foot on my head and shoves it down in the dirt. And, well, and I learned how to hold it tighter, you know. I thought this little rifle ain't gonna hurt me. But an M1 and, or '03 it was, I think it was, '03 or M1. Anyway, they kicked pretty hard. There were pretty big shells in there. Well, I made it out of there. From there, they sent us all down to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. We went down there, and yeah, then I thought I was going to join the paratroopers. They asked me what I wanted to join. I said I was going to be in the motor transport because I was driving my truck for my dad for a big old truck when I was only 15 years old. I was going downtown all over. And I thought, well, I'll drive a truck or I'll get in motor transport, you know. So that's what I wound up in, motor transport. But, well, that's about it, I guess, ain't it?
Now, where were you when the Japanese hit Pearl Harbor? Were you still in Cincinnati?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't in yet. I didn't go into...
Barb, you have a call in 42, Barb.
So after that, your brothers joined up right after
No,
the Japanese hit?
my two little older brothers were in there already.
Oh, they were already in.
My older brothers were in there already. And my younger brother, he was going in about the same time I had. See, I was 20 years old. My other brother was 19, younger than me. My other brother was 21. He was older than me. He was in there already. My older brother was in there already.
So 4 of you ended up in the military.
All together. 3 of them in the Army and me in the Marine Corps.
And after the Japanese attacked, were you thinking, gosh, maybe I should go help these guys out, or
No.
not thinking quite yet?
Well, we thought about it, but the foreman up at the superintendent up where I worked in the foundry, he said, I'll get you all to 6 months off, 6 months. And we said, no, we're going to go anyway. So I'll get you to...
So you could have got an exemption
Yeah.
to stay working at the foundry because
Yeah,
they
I
needed
could
that for
have.
the war.
But I said, no, us 3 of us decided to go down there from the foundry, and we all made it. Them 2 guys there, they went up to Iwo Jima, they both got wounded over there. And I went to Okinawa after that.
And when you went to the Marine Corps and you had to pass a physical, you said everyone was afraid they wouldn't pass. Was
Yeah.
it really hard to get in?
Well, some had flat feet, and they wouldn't take them right away, and some didn't have this, and some didn't have that, you know.
So you got in, you passed,
Mm-hmm.
and after your training, they sent you to the Pacific, right?
Sent me out to, yeah.
They loaded you guys up on a big ship.
When I went to Camp Pendleton, they took us down in a big old semi, packed up in their semi down to San Diego and put us on a boat and sent us, they wouldn't tell us where we're going. When we get out on the boat and we pass the equator, I had a nice big head full of hair, and they put us in a chair there and give us a burr, more cut it real. And then all of a sudden they give you a shot, hit electric shot, you jumped up and you went around the corner, they hit you with a big old hose of water, knocked you down. That's what they call a potty wag or something like that in the
That's because you crossed the equator.
well, yeah, because you crossed the equator.
So
And
that
then
was
from
your-
there, we went to Guadalcanal. We stayed in Guadalcanal for a couple months. And from there, we went to the invasion of Guam. We went to Guam. From there, we packed up and went to Okinawa. Well, we stopped at a couple little islands, and they had big chicken dinners and everything. They really feed us really good.
Trying to beef you up for the...
Yeah,
Because you knew what was coming, huh?
yeah.
Did you guys know, was there already guys on Okinawa fighting when you showed up? Or
No, we were the first
You
ones
were the
there.
first group in there.
Yep. On April the 1st, we hit the island, April Fool's Day. Boy, we woke up and boy, that big old ships were rocking where they're shooting into the ground, into the island. What in the hell are we doing here? What are we doing? Boy, they got ready. Get ready, get ready, get. Boy, they all the way out. Took us out there and got us on the ground. And we got our vehicles out of these LSTs. Pulled them LSTs up and it took the vehicles out of it. And we went up the hill, up to the airport. We didn't lose hardly nobody there. Went up that big old hill. But we got up on the hill and then we had a little bit more. The airfield up there.
So you guys held the airfield, right?
Yeah.
And you were pretty much alone out there for a long time, weren't you? Before you got reinforcements? And...
Well, we stayed there for, we were there for a couple months, yeah. And then we secured our end of it. Then the Army was on the other end, and we had to go down and help them out there because they got all blocked up. They couldn't get out. They said they were under fire all the time. They couldn't make it. So they said must have been all the enemies were down at the southern end, set up the northern end where we went in at.
Is that where the Japanese were all holed up in caves?
Yeah, well, caves and that.
And they had been on that island a while, so they knew their way around. Were they a tough enemy?
Was it Japanese? No, they were just like we were, I guess. They were just out to get the enemy, you know. So, I mean, for us going into the caves there, they go in and they had these flamethrowers. They blasted with a flame. A lot of people got killed going in there. I mean, they went in these caves, you know, just looking in and going around a little bit and see what they look like, and whether you hit them with a flamethrower or shoot them. And a lot of them didn't come back. I went in the caves, they didn't get out. I mean, I didn't go in there too far. I just peeped in a little bit and saw they had stuff laying around. I picked a few things up and put it in my pocket, you know.
What did you get?
Well, I got some money and some, I don't know, a couple flags. And
So there was a few Japanese still hiding out in there, and you never
Yeah.
knew when they were
well,
gonna...
there were snipers all over the place there. You could hear them snipers at nighttime, you know, they'd be shooting down into a crowd. People were around, you know, or no lights, nothing on. And when I got over there, I drove the ambulance on the front lines, picked up all the people, you know, a lot of dead ones and a lot of live ones, and took them on back to the hospitals, and didn't have no roads. They just told you what way to go, and I had to find no lights on at nighttime. You hadn't had no lights on.
Was it like a jungle?
It was a jungle.
You had to find your way through the jungle
It
and
was all mud roads with no roads at all. It's all mud. I mean, all dirt roads.
and you had lots of casualties from your unit.
Yeah, we had a lot of them.
Was the medical corps able to help some of these soldiers? Did they have
Oh yeah,
what they needed
they
there?
had to give them morphine. You know, like some had their legs taken off, and they had to give morphine to keep you know. And yeah, the corpsmen did a good job.
They saved a lot of people, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was a tough job, and you were driving an ambulance.
Yeah,
Did they-
this one guy got shot here, took his both eyes out, and one had his whole chin taken off. I saw him after that, and he had a false chin on him, and he looked pretty good, you know. After a couple of months there, he was in pretty good shape.
Now, were they supposed to not bomb an ambulance? Was that supposed to be like a rule that if it was
Yeah,
marked with a red cross, they weren't supposed to shoot at you?
That's what they say.
But that didn't really work, did it?
I mean, I didn't get shot at. I didn't. I had two corpsmen with me. They're both from Cincinnati, and we grew up. When I come back, this one of them was his father was a doctor for the Reds down here, Reed Shanks, and he told me, he said, anytime you want to come down for a Sunday doubleheader, come on up to the box. I paid 50 cents to get into the bleachers, and I'd walk on up to got in their box seat and we'll sit back with the big guys, you know. And this other guy, Bill Heil, he wound up being my doctor when I get back. I found out that he was a doctor here in town, and I went and saw him, and man, I'm glad to see you. I said, well, I need a doctor. I've been doctoring him till he retired here about, what, 3 years ago or something like that.
So he must have got a lot of good experience
Yeah, we
taking care of all those soldiers.
yeah, we had some bad ones. I mean, real bad ones, some of them.
So how do the Marines keep their spirit up when they're getting attacked like that and it's so hard and all your friends are getting hurt?
Well, they try to send you down every couple of weeks, you know, down to rear echelon or something like that. Get you a little pumped up a little bit better.
Give you a rest.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you had the equipment and the supplies and everything that
Well,
you guys needed?
Yeah, we had everything. Yeah. A lot of this one time, they wanted to send me back, and I told them, nope. I got 2 corpsmen here I'm going to stay with. They know what they're doing, you know. So I didn't go back. So I got a big letter of recommendation from the big shot there.
Did you ever feel like, did you ever worry that we might not win?
That what?
Did you ever worry that America might not win the war? And all this is going on and it's like hell.
No, I really didn't. I mean,
You were a Marine, weren't you?
yeah.
You're just doing your job and you figure you're going to be, you guys.
Well, they kept on telling us, well, we took this certain hill, we took a certain place, you know, then all of a sudden the Japanese would run it back up again or back over again, and we'd retake it again, and then they announced that we took that hill, different hills and stuff like that. It made you encourage you a little bit more. You know.
But those Japanese swore they would never surrender.
Yeah, I know.
So you must have thought, gosh, we're going to be in for the long haul.
Yeah, well, then we went to, from Okinawa, we went back to Qingdao, China. We had to stay over there for 6 months over in China. We stayed in the dormitory with, they had a college over there. We stayed in there for about 6 months. And I met a little Japanese girl. She was a doctor over there. And she wanted me to bring her back to the United States. I said, I can't do that. My mother would kill me if I bring her back here. Yeah. I said, no, no, no. And I said, but maybe I'll send for you. Give me your address and I'll maybe send for you, you know. But I never talked to her or nothing after that.
You went to China after
After
the war was over.
Okinawa.
You went to China after Okinawa, though?
Yeah.
And that was after the war?
Yeah. Yeah, but I was up in a foxhole when we heard the Germans give up on Okinawa when we was in the what you call it, announcing on the loudspeaker the Germans just surrendered.
Right.
I think that was in April or something like there.
What did the guys think when they heard that the Germans had surrendered? Was
Oh,
that
we all screamed and hollered. It won't take us long now. It didn't take us long.
Did they take very many Japanese prisoners?
Yeah, they took quite a few of them.
Did they?
Yeah.
what did you do with them?
They put them in stockade or something like that. Took them, penned them up, put them in a place.
Did they try to escape?
Well, I really don't. I wasn't. I didn't go to this. I didn't go to stockade.
You were driving your truck.
Yeah, driving the ambulance.
What was your impression of Truman dropping the A-bomb?
Well,
For or against?
it was a good thing he did, I think. I mean, it wasn't the right thing to do, they say. I don't know.
I feel it was the right thing. There's no question about it.
Well,
Were you, obviously you were scheduled to go to the invasion of Japan.
Yeah, I was
That was,
on,
that was in November, I believe, 45.
well, we were supposed to go to Japan, yeah. Well, that's what my orders read, Japan, but we wound up, Tokyo. We were supposed to go to Tokyo, the orders read. But we wound up over in Okinawa before we went to Japan. We had to take Okinawa first.
How did the people treat you in China?
Good. Well, we had some nice times in China.
So they supported the Americans, and they were
Yeah.
glad to see you.
Well, they needed us up over there, the doctors, they had some kind of malaria or something over there, they were all sick. The hospitals were full of Japanese. They took us through this couple hospitals, seen all these young kids laying down. And,
Were they Japanese or Chinese that were?
Chinese, they were Chinese.
Oh, okay.
That's when I went, after Okinawa, I went to China,
Uh-huh.
Qingdao, China.
And they were the Chinese children that
Yeah.
were in the hospital. She said he was on Guadalcanal.
Oh, you were in Guadalcanal too?
While I was on Guadalcanal when I first went over there, yeah. But I wasn't in invasion of Guadalcanal. I was on Guam though. And then we went back to Guam after we secured Okinawa, and then from Guam we went right over to China. Well, we stopped at a couple of small islands and had a little feast on the way over.
Now, what was this like? Here you're a young farm boy from Cincinnati, and all of a sudden you're in the South Pacific, and there's jungles and
Yeah.
snakes and iguanas, and is it just totally different than Cincinnati, Ohio? What was that like for you? Were you excited to see the world, or did you think
Oh
this was...
yeah, it was nice. You got to see a little, but some places you didn't want to see. The war. Forrest going to the islands, and after the war was over, it was nice.
During the war, it was just...
No,
It was like hell because it was so much fighting.
yeah.
Did you see people that were like natives with
Oh yeah.
living with grass skirts
Bones
or
in their-
bones in their nose?
Oh, the people on the Guadalcanal have a baby with their breast hanging out, walking down the street, walking through the woods or any place with a second on them yet. Oh man, I'm telling you, flies all over them. It was terrible.
So it was a totally different world when
Oh man. And them people over there in Okinawa, Guadalcanal, all them natives, I felt sorry for them. They were just ate up with bugs. Malaria. Some little kids lay there with their bugs all over their face, and yep,
so it was
no
rough.
fun.
It was a different world.
Yep, what?
Were you glad to get back to America?
You better believe it. Then I get back to Chicago, and they got me in this place there. They tried to talk me into rejoining again. I said, I want to go home by my mom. I want to go home by my mom. So I went home.
Do you think growing up as a farm boy helped you?
Yeah, I think so.
I've interviewed a lot of veterans and some commanders, officers, who said after a while, they wanted the country boys. They sought them out for their
Yeah.
teams because I guess you were used to hard work. You think that was it?
Yep, that's one thing.
You could drive, you could shoot.
Yeah,
You had already learned a lot of things that were going to help you to survive, perhaps.
yeah.
You had 13 brothers and sisters. You probably learned how to survive in a family like
You
that.
better believe it. We all had our place at the table. I know it's time to eat. Mom hollers, time to eat. We all had our chairs there, bench in the back, big table with a bench in the back where 4 or 5 of us sit on that bench, and Mom and Pop sit on the end, and Best on that side.
It's kind of like the military even then.
Yeah,
So you were ready.
I was ready.
You never got injured in all those
No,
battles?
no. We had two brothers injured, and the two guys I went over with were injured.
Did you feel like you were lucky?
Yeah, I was lucky. I didn't know because if I got into something, you know, they were in demolition, and I was in motor transport, so I don't say. No, I was lucky.
How long were you in? How long were you in?
Not quite 4 years. And I went in October in 1942, and I got out in March of 46.
Was that the end when you got out? Was
Yeah,
it?
but that was the end, and we had to stay there a couple of months over in China. We stayed there in China, and we shipped back to Chicago, and they took us in there, and each one took us in a little cave, little place there with a, try to get us to join up again, you know. And no, I'm going home.
Well, since that time, you have several sons who became Marines, and now you have two grandsons who are Marines.
Yeah.
So it must run in your family.
Yeah, I guess they took after the old man, huh?
Had a few good men in your family,
Yeah,
huh?
I think so. Yep.
You think you had an influence on them because of your experience as a Marine?
I told them not to join the Marines. The oldest boy says, I'm going to join the Marines, Dad. I said, no, get out of there. You'll never make it down there to Paris Island. Boy, they worked there. Well, they sent him out of San Diego. They called them the Hollywood Marines out there. So they didn't get he didn't go there. Mike didn't go there neither, I don't think.
No, Mike went.
Yeah, he went to officers training school. He didn't go to,
Oh, he was an officer in the Marines.
yeah.
Well, he was a helicopter pilot.
He was a captain.
Let him let him
Yeah, he was, oh yeah.
before he got out to take
What are they always talk about the Marines have this special, what is it, the special
Gung ho.
feeling or the
Gun-ho.
special personality. They don't seem to
All the
fear,
gun ho Marines are here now.
they don't seem like they have much fear of death. They talk about it like it's just another thing. They don't really seem to be afraid. Is that right? Is that what you saw?
Well, they make you that way. They tell you, you do this, you do that. You know, they ain't no better than you are. So you stand up, you know, to try to help them out a little bit.
Did you all, did you have that camaraderie when you were all there together in this horrible situation where you wanted to help each other out, protect your buddies?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's one of the good things that comes out of something like that, is that people form a bond. Do you ever see your friends from the Marines?
No, not the ones that don't live around me. No. I mean, I've seen a couple of them.
Your
the
doctor?
Marines. I mean, I met them down at the VFW. A few guys that were in the Marines, but they were with me.
Do you ever have reunions?
No, we never had a reunion. If they did, they never called me or anything or told me anything about it. When I left, I came back to Cincinnati. I didn't hang around the Marine Corps or anything like that.
You were ready to get on with your life.
I'm ready to get on. Yep.
Did it have an influence on the rest of your life, your time in the war?
Well, I think it probably did. I mean, I thank the good Lord I'm here. You know that.
Matured you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got to see another side of the world.
That's right.
Your brothers all made it home. That must have been hard for your mom.
Yeah, it was.
4 stars in the window. I'm glad they all made it back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're all back, but there's only 2 of us living now. The rest are all, just 2 boys. There's about 4 girls, ain't there?
What was the most memorable part of the whole thing? Was it Okinawa? It stands out in your memory?
Well, I guess it would be Okinawa. I mean, that's where I've seen the most fighting. I mean, I was in most of it there.
How were your living conditions? Did you live in a tent?
I did live in a foxhole for a long time.
Did you get to take a bath? I mean, did you have,
Yeah, down in the ocean or in the river there or something like that.
it's pretty rough, huh?
No girls around, so we just jumped in without any clothes on. We didn't have to worry about that.
Bugs everywhere?
Over in Guadalcanal, it was terrible over there. You see these young kids that are laying on the side there with flies all over their face and that. You don't know if they're dead or you don't know if they're living or what. You see it, I mean, Japanese or Chinese or Hawaiian, Guam people or whatever, I don't know who they are. They're all Orient people. I don't know where they're from. They're people that, I guess they don't have no mother and fathers and don't know what to do. They're just only little kids. It's pitiful over there. God, it was.
What about snakes and alligators?
I never seen the snakes. Snakes are right, but alligators I didn't.
Lizards? Nothing? Sometimes you hear talk on movies about big
Well,
lizards and...
They live in the swamps or something like that. But I never seen them alligators or nothing. Seen a bunch of monkeys.
They hang around even in all that mess?
Yeah,
How did you guys encounter a typhoon when you were traveling over there? When you were on the ships?
how did we encounter them?
Did you run into any bad
No,
weather?
No, it was pretty cool.
So you didn't have that at least.
Took us 28 days on an LST to get back from China to Ohio, to the United States. LST, man, pop, 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 popping.
Did you land, you landed in California, was it
Didn't-
San Diego?
I didn't fly in a plane.
No, I'm talking about your ship
Dog.
Yeah,
docked. Where did you come in at?
we came in.
San Francisco, San
Oh.
Diego.
No, I think we came in around the Great Lakes up in Chicago.
On the, with the LSD?
Well, LST, yeah. I'm pretty sure we did. We came somewhere.
You probably landed in California someplace and then train. Yeah, train.
That's
to-
how we got in. We left here on train. Left Cape Lejeune on train to go over to California. We didn't fly out there. We didn't.
When you came back though from China,
We come back from China on an LST.
and you landed,
Probably in, where? I don't remember. We landed, I guess we landed in California or someplace, and then we drove
Then we took the train.
a plane back.
Sure.
I'm not sure. I can't think of way back there.
well, it was just, you were just so happy to come home.
You better believe it. Yeah, I was happy to get home.
Any more questions, anyone?
How was the food?
Wasn't too bad. I mean, we had shit on the shingles in the morning for breakfast. You know what that is, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what that was when I baked beans in the morning for breakfast too.
So you guys get that Marine attitude when you were over there, like,
Yeah,
Of course they do.
did you?
oh boy,
So you came home on leave and did you still have it?
I did have it. I'm a Marine, what are you gonna do about it?
How did people treat you back in the States when you came home?
Good.
Was it hard to adjust from being a soldier, a big tough soldier in that horrible war, to being a regular guy again?
No, I don't think so. No, I calmed down.
It was
Met
easy.
these girls, you know, and I calmed down, be real nice to them.
And when did you meet that redhead girl?
She wasn't redhead when I met her.
Yes, I was.
She was a blonde.
She was a blonde. So you met her in Cincinnati when you came home?
Yeah,
I was raised one till I was 35 years old.
her mother was going with the guy that my dad was bumming around with, and she said, "Come on down to play some." What were we playing that day?
Pinochle.
Pinochle. Play some pinochle. It was on New Year's Eve or something like that, wasn't it?
New Year's Day.
I came down and we played pinochle.
And that was and the
That
rest.
was the day.
The rest is history, right?
Yeah,
What did you think about having a girlfriend that was in the Navy?
I never thought about it.
Thought it would have been better if she'd have picked that green uniform?
Oh, no, them Marines, I met a few of them Marines, they were tough.
Those women were tough.
Oh, man, they thought they were. Yeah, we had them down at Campus June down there. Campus June down there. They came in, they took one whole side of the compound, and they first came in, and we were about ready to ship out, and these couple of them, they thought they were big shots, you know, walking around.
It was
So I
different.
didn't.
And you ended up with a wave.
Yeah. But the Marines always got their way up. Pretty sure of that. You
How
see
many years has that been,
What?
your marriage?
54.
That's great.
54, ain't it? 1948. Or it'll be 54.
It was 54.
It was 54.
We
Any
met
more
in
questions?
January.
I don't have any questions.
Married in October.
Time
Well,
flies.
we thank you for your service to our country, Fred.
Well, I wish I could talk more, but I don't.
You did good.
I'm not much of a talker.
How did you feel about your leaders?
We get some good leaders.
You trusted them?
Oh, yeah.
You felt like they...
Oh, yeah, they knew who to send, what to send, and, yeah, I thought it was all right.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had some that were not so good.
Well,
Everyone has.
you probably did. I mean, me and the leaders we didn't get into, I didn't mingle with the leaders too much. I mean, they tell you what to do, I do it. I mean, that's what we did. I noticed one time, they wanted me to come back out for I had these two corpsmen up there, and they were gonna leave them up there and bring me back to the rear echelon for a while. And I said, nope, as long as they're here, I'm gonna stay here. So they gave me a letter of recommendation on that, because I didn't go back, and I don't know where it went to. I still got it somewhere.
Anybody else? Well, thank you, Fred.
Well, I'm ready to go.
I am too.